Welcome to All Things Acura with the Acura Guys, featuring Justin Bako, Ed McKenna, and Matt Denholm. In this series, we look to explore the Acura brand from sales, service, vehicle features, and technology. We hope to enhance your ownership experience, help those who are new to Acura, and answer questions along the way. In this episode, we compare the second generation RDX to the third generation RDX. Don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Enjoy.
Here we are back again, the Acura guys at Serra Acura. And today, I'm here again, Justin,
Ed,
And Matt.
and we're here to bring you a first-time comparison of the second generation RDX with the all-new third generation RDX.
Right? Yeah. Yep. It's a common comparison that we get a lot. You know, people comparing the pre-owned version of the car, the second generation, to the new one, and some of the pros and cons of each one.
Right. Yeah, it's probably one of the top asked questions that we get here at the Acura store because it's probably our best-selling model now here moving into 2020. So what we wanted to do is just give you guys a real in-depth, whether you have one of these or you're just looking to consider whether I buy a new one or I buy a pre-owned one, and which style should you get. So hopefully this provides you with that type of information.
Yeah, and this is the third generation Acura. So the RDX started back in 2007. There was the 2007 to the 2012 model, and then we went with the V6 in 2013 up until 2018. And then we'll talk about some of those changes back into the new one, the third generation. Then went back to the 4-cylinder turbo. So we'll get into all that discussion. But the car's been around for a little over a decade now, so it's been a tried and true car, and so it's been a really great car for Acura. And those of you who own one, you know very well how great it's been.
Yeah, it's the most popular segment in that SUV category. It's the mid-size now. I think it used to be considered the small, but now it's the mid-size. They've all kind of grown up over the years. Every year they seem to get a little bit bigger, as did this one get a touch bigger than what it was in the past. And they just keep getting nicer. So stay tuned. You get to see a lot of neat comparisons between the two. All right, here we are with the 2020 RDX and the 2017. The 2017 representing the second generation RDX. In both cases, we picked a tech package to compare. Same trim package in the same pearl white color. Ed's going to be representing our 2017 or older version RDX, and Matt's going to be representing the 2020 new style RDX. As you can see, a lot of design changes between the two, both with that Acura signature emblem, but quite a bit difference in the grille, and then moving to the LED headlights.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to kind of checking out all these different features on the vehicles. Obviously the design difference between the two vehicles. This is Acura's new Diamond Pentagon grille, kind of the new corporate badging, which looks beautiful, along with those jewel eye LED headlights. There are 7 in this one, which look awesome.
then in mine here has the old Acura grille. Some people call this the Beat grille. Then we have the 5 LED headlights over here, which are also jewel eye headlights.
Yeah, so we really look forward to kind of breaking down the differences between some of these cars. We got the panoramic moonroof on this vehicle, which you can see.
I still have a regular moonroof on this, which is also very nice too.
I also have the 19-inch wheels, which are standard on all of the new third generation RDX.
I have the 18-inch wheels here on the 2016, 17, and 18 tech package RDX.
So a lot of great things between the two. Some of the changes that you can see visually, but we're excited to kind of show you what these cars entail.
Obviously, there's been a lot of design changes. It's a completely new vehicle from ground up. They didn't carry over anything from the previous generation RDX. In comparison's sake, this will represent the 2016, 17, and 18 model, and this will be, for comparison's sake, the 19 and 20. So we look forward to showing you the differences.
One of the other great things about the third generation RDX is how much extra storage you get in the back here. I can fit 2 large Tupperware containers in here, no problem. One of the other cool things that third generation RDX gives you is really nice extra storage space. So you get this really nice little cubby box behind here, and then underneath here, underneath the floor, you get 2 extra compartments. Super handy. It does hide all your stuff, which is awesome. And then all your tools are underneath here for your jack. The spare tire is located right underneath the vehicle. You can also pull down the seats very easily with the levers that they give you right back here on both sides. And there's very little incline to the seats, so you can slide stuff in real easily.
Today I'm going to show you the 2nd gen RDX. So I'm going to load a couple totes in so you can see the cargo space that this has. So you come over here, put our first Tupperware tote in, then we'll go over and get our second one. Put that in. See, they fit pretty nice. Go ahead and close your lift gate. And you get ready to take off. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so they don't exactly fit perfect, but you can always drop down the seats with those handles, and then you can slide them forward. Oh wait, there's a little hump. You have to lift the tote up a little bit. Slide this tote in a little bit, and see, they still fit. There you go, cargo space for the 2nd gen RDX.
The 3rd generation RDX gives you this really nice espresso brown leather, which is really beautiful in person. And then as you get in your really comfortable back seats here, lots of leg room. It's nice space in front of my seats here. I'm basically sitting behind myself in this seat. And then as I scooch over here in the middle, you do have some nice vents back here, allow for some air to flow back here. And one of my other favorite things are these 2 USB ports. And one of the great things about these USB ports is that they're 2.5 amp, which gives you actual charging on your phone. It actually hypercharges your phone. And as I scooch over here to the middle, we have some cup holders that fold down with this nice armrest. So lots of really nice comfortable space for the people that sit back in this back seat. The other thing to notice is that there's no floor hump in the middle here. That way, as we have passengers come in the car, welcome in, Ed.
Hello.
As we have passengers come in here.
You got room for one more back here?
Yeah, we do. So you can have 3 occupants back here that are all comfortable because there's no floor hump in the middle there. So all of our feet sit nice and flat on the floor.
So I'm showing you the back space of the 2nd generation RDX. So as you can see, there's a lot of room back here, as you can see between my knees and the back of the seat. The back seats are very comfortable. They do kind of wrap around you, and they have really good lumbar support in them. So over here, you slide over in the center, there's still a lot of space. And over here, once again, a lot of space. Oh, sure, you can come on in. By the way, there are air vents back here, so you can adjust the vents and adjust the airflow back here.
Got room for one more?
I think
What?
come on in.
Yeah, bring it in.
Plenty of space.
So here we are, the 2nd generation RDX, backroom space. Everybody feel pretty comfortable?
I'm comfy. I got little vents back here.
You got little vents.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh my. So there you go, folks.
There's been some really awesome changes to the 3rd generation RDX. With real materials like metal, the entire cabin has it laced with it. So everything that you see that looks like metal is actually metal. One of my other favorite parts about this generation RDX is the seats. They're incredibly comfortable. So with really nice side bolstering, as well as 12-way power seats for not only the driver's seat, but for the passenger as well, which means you get 4-way lumbar support, which is really cool for the passenger as well. So the 4-way lumbar support allows for inflation, but you can move it up and down, which is really nice. Another little tidbit is even in the base model standard, you have the ability to move the passenger seat up and down, which is pretty rare in a lot of SUVs nowadays. Also, we have this new infotainment system, this screen up top here, which is really beautiful, 10.2 inches, high definition screen, which is all controlled through this touchpad down here, allows for you to keep your eyes on the road more frequently, which is really safe. And then all the climate controls, very similar to what you see in the previous generation, very easy to use. And another one of my favorite parts that this car has that the previous generation doesn't
is these automatic heated seats. So you don't have to worry about how hot to make your seat. You just press auto and it does it all with the automatic climate control. Everything is right in reach, with the dynamic mode dial being right here, being able to change how your car drives through steering feel, throttle response, and the gear ratio, as well as this gear shifter, a really unique gear shifter right in the middle console, really easy to use. So as you're sitting here, you have park, reverse, neutral, drive, all within reach, and really easy to press. You just press the button to go into drive. It's really easy. New gauge cluster is all brand new for this vehicle. So it looks a little bit different than the other one, but you have some really nice information on that screen as well. And then through here, you have some cup holders in here, another USB port, which allows you to use the Apple CarPlay or the Android Auto, which is a really awesome feature only for the new generation RDX. Also, you have some other nice storage as you lift up this piece right here, really deep holder right here. And then underneath here, you have some nice storage as well, along with some power outlets. So there's a 12 volt here, an auxiliary port, as well as another USB port. You also get this really beautiful frameless auto dimming mirror with the home link attached to it. So it makes opening a garage door really easy, which is really nice. And one of the best things about this car is standard, you get the panoramic moonroof. It's one of the largest in its class. It's huge. The thing takes up the entire, not only front seat, but the back seat as well. And another thing that's really nice is the fact that the shade is actually a solid shade. It doesn't have holes in it like some other brands that you see. It covers the sun when you don't want it to be open. The third generation RDX has a really awesome sound system, especially if you go up in the tech package and even into the advanced or A-spec packages. But in the tech package, you get 12 speakers. 2 of them are mounted in the ceiling, which is awesome.
So this is the second generation interior of the RDX. So power leather adjustable seats, 10-way power adjustable. Very comfortable, by the way. Up front here, you can see your navigation screen is in this top screen. This here is a touchscreen down here for your audio. Down below, these are all hard buttons. Makes it very easy to use to adjust things. This here button here is to adjust your navigation in and out and other things. These here are all hard buttons for your heating and cooling. If you go down here, there's a really nice cubby hole to put, miscellaneous items. In that cubby hole, you will find an auxiliary port, and you'll also find a power outlet. Also closes up so you can seal away your items that you do throw down there. Go up here, you do have 2 nice cup holders. Here's your power heated seats for both driver and passenger. Come back here, you have a really nice large armrest. Inside, very large. This tray does come out. It is rubber, so if you put change in here, it's not going to clang around like if a lot of these cars have plastic. Snaps right back in. But you can actually put a small purse in here if you really want to. Going up here, if you can see this, it does have a very nice sunroof. This is a manual slide shade. So you can shut that if you don't want all the sunlight on your head or on the interior. You don't have to manually slide it, you just press the button and that slides open for you. And that is the interior of your second generation RDX.
So underneath the hood of the third generation RDX is it's an engine. Ed, can you show me where I don't even know if there's an engine in here. Is it somewhere?
Hey, look, there's an engine right there.
It's pretty sweet engine. It produces a lot of power, but yeah.
How much power does it produce?
The third generation RDX is powered by an entirely new power plant made by Honda. So this is the 2-liter VTEC turbocharged engine. It produces 272 horsepower and 280 pound-foot of torque. Can you say that about your car, Ed?
That I can't, but mine is a little bit bigger, running a V6.
Oh, so it's a little bit bigger, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but mine's got more torque.
That it does. It does have more torque.
Yeah, it does have that. So it has the 2-liter turbocharged engine, really fun to drive. That's mated to a 10-speed automatic. All of the newer generation RDXs also come standard with Acura's safety systems. And some of those safety systems, there's a radar mounted behind all of the Acura badges, which is why you see it like that. So behind there, you have your collision mitigation braking, you have your adaptive cruise control, you have your forward collision warning, you have lane departure warning, you have lane keep assist, and road departure mitigation. That is 6 different safety systems that are standard on the new generation RDX, which is awesome. Also improved are the standard July LED headlights. So in the previous generation there was 5, but now there are 7 July LED headlights with this really cool daytime running light strip. Looks awesome. Yeah, and I had a chance to drive it at night. These things light up the road like crazy. Super bright white lights.
So today we're looking at the second generation RDX. As you can see here with the headlights, you have the LED daytime running lights. Up here you can see there are 5 LED headlights, but with your regular headlights on, you have 3, and then when you turn your brights on, all 5 show up, or 10 because they're on both sides obviously. Then inside here, you do have a 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6. Along with that, you also have 252 foot-pounds of torque, along with 279 horsepower on the second gen RDX.
Yeah, see, so you might have a bigger engine, more horsepower, but I got more torque, and that's what matters.
Ah, so he says.
One of the great things about the third generation RDX is the super handling all-wheel drive that's back. Torque vectoring all-wheel drive, which gives you 70% of the power to the rear and pushes that power left and right. So you can have one rear wheel with up to 70% of the power. Gives you incredible stability and handling. Check it out.
All right, we're back from our comparison.
Did we even go anywhere?
Did
we
Well, didn't we?
kind of?
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, we did. Well, feels like we didn't even go anywhere.
So
right.
comparing the two, I mean, what's your overall take on it now?
Yeah, I mean, I really liked, both of them really have a lot of nice things to offer, obviously. You know, some of the things that, you know, that people look at in the new one that you're really going to notice up front is like the design of the new one, some of the newer, like the quality of the materials on the inside.
Yeah, the nice leather, the comfort of the seats, those are some of the things that we really noticed when we took them out for a drive.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
And I think from first glance, obviously, there's quite a design change. You know, you really notice that, as we pointed out in the videos, that it's, a great looking design on the car. And obviously, everybody has their own opinion, but I think for the most part, that's pretty, like, everybody thinks the same thing
Right.
as far as. And then as soon as you open the door, you notice, like as Matt said, the seats are more comfortable. The leather is much nicer. The materials are just
Yeah,
much nicer.
there's like little like design changes between the two. Like for example, like the stitching,
Yeah.
like the contrast stitching. I know we compared 2 tech packages,
Yeah, that's true.
but yeah. So the stitching was there. The metal, like everything that looks like metal is metal, and this is really one of the most redesigned car. It is the most redesigned car Acura had ever done in their history so far.
7 years of engineering in the making.
Yeah.
To make this.
And when he says everything looks like metal, I mean, as you know, as in most cars, even the high-end cars you get into, if you see a little chrome piece, it's just plastic, right? It's just plated plastic, and that breaks or chips off, and you notice that when you get in the RDX and you start tapping on them, touching them, it's
Right.
kind of like, wow, it really is metal or
Yeah.
aluminum or whatever they're using in there.
Exactly. And I really like the 12-way power seats. That's huge. Obviously, Acura has done a really good job with all their cars over the years with providing standard equipment like things like power seats. That's been a standard feature. But the new one, even in a base model, you get the 12-way power seats for the driver and the passenger side. And there's a lot of SUVs that, like even on the passenger side, A, don't have power seats, and B, don't have things like where you can lift the seat up and down, let alone lumbar support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, usually the passenger seat just moves back and forth, and the back tilts, back and forward. That's usually all the passenger seat does. So the new one really makes a big improvement just for passenger comfort.
And we talk about this a lot here in Acura World, is that there's really no entry level or base model. They don't make a decontented model, and like some of the German competitors, you can actually get cloth, and they charge for leather and upgrades but no, the car doesn't exist. They don't make those really. They just want to be able to charge for those options. And this car, they really came out with a lot of content on just their entry-level model, which they call the premium package.
Exactly, yeah. And again, heated seats have been standard, for years now. Things like, but the content is what they changed, which is really nice. It just gives the buyer that much more value in what they're getting out of the new one. Obviously, the old one still has a lot of value there.
Yeah.
A lot of great, savings that you can get on a pre-owned version of the second generation, but still, the new one has a lot more stuff to offer.
So let's start with the obvious difference between the two, and this is the big piece. And when people walk through the door, is the powertrain.
Right.
It's different, right?
Right.
Big time
Exactly.
different.
You saw a video on that where we compared the powertrains of both the second generation versus the third generation, which is the new one. And yeah, there's a lot of differences. The second generation came with a V6, where this generation now comes with a 4-cylinder turbo, which is a huge difference. With horsepower, torque, things like that.
Yeah, and they're rated pretty similarly. The 4-cylinder turbo in the third generation, it's 272 horsepower, 280 pound-foot of torque. So the torque is up on the 4-cylinder turbo, and then on the V6, what was it on the V6?
Yeah, 279 horsepower and 252 foot-pounds of torque. So it is different, but as far as performance goes, it's very similar, the 4-cylinder versus the 6.
And I think what you found is it's quite responsive, peppy, right?
Oh yeah, very much so.
And there's a lot of stuff we could talk about in turbos in the future, but this turbocharged car, there's not the turbo lag that you would feel. It actually comes on pretty early, so you don't have that same feeling. And it's more of a spirited driving performance as opposed to the V6. The V6 is super smooth, really nice driving characteristics, but that 4-cylinder gives you a little more excitement behind the wheel.
Yeah. More of an athletic feel to it, I guess.
Are you finding that people walk away with missing their V6 after driving one of these?
No,
absolutely not.
No, they seem to be very happy with the 4-cylinder, the athletic spirit it has. It has the same type of pep. So yeah, people are really happy with it so far.
Yeah, and I think at first, there's always that apprehension of, okay, I'm getting a 4-cylinder. What's it all about? But once you actually have a chance to sit down and drive it, take it for a spin, I think you really get a good idea how it, especially with that 10-speed transmission.
Right.
The old one has that tried and true 6-speed transmission that, is really nice. But that 10-speed, it's really a really neat transmission. It shifts really, very quickly, and it goes to the gears really nicely.
Seamless gear shifting. Forward and back. So,
well, a couple neat new features, and we kind of touched on them a little bit in the video. But those dynamic modes, and tell us a little bit about those. Those are really I think they're kind of neat because you get a couple different personalities there.
Yeah, you do. You get multiple different features as far as that dynamic mode. Different ways you can drive the car based on your personality. You got your snow mode. If we're driving in deep snow, you got your comfort mode. Sport, and then a Sport Plus mode.
Yeah.
So you can adjust that however you like, and then of course you always have the paddle shifters on the new one too, which you also had on the old one. But it's a lot more fun to drive on the new one with that 4-cylinder turbo.
Yeah, and the 10-speed, it really goes through those gears quick.
Yeah.
And the second generation didn't have the different driving modes, which is okay. Some people do get confused by having those different ways to change the car, how it drives and responds. But it just gives you that much more level of dialing that car into exactly how you feel the car should feel. And it's really a neat way to kind of experience the vehicle.
And then really probably the number one thing, and I always want to talk about and point it out, but that super handling all-wheel drive is back on this generation of RDX.
That's huge. That's like, I've been here for 5 years, like I said before, but that's like one of the things to me, that's what makes an Acura an Acura. And when they announced that they were going to bring that back, I thought that was such a huge upgrade from the old one in terms of just the handling. And we'll probably have a video on the super handling all-wheel drive on its own, so we can kind of get more in depth with that. And there's some really cool research out there, but it just makes the car's handling that much more responsive, that much more fun. But it's really cool. That's one of the best things about an Acura.
Yeah, especially for handling and stuff. The super handling all-wheel drive makes a big difference from just the standard all-wheel drive that most people are used to anymore.
Yeah.
So, but anyhow, we'll get into more of that later.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that one.
So on to the safety. Obviously, there's new technology and safety features, and the Acura doesn't fall short in the new one versus the old one.
Yeah.
Especially with standard features that come in, the premium model. You still get the lane keep assist, lane departure warning, adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking system. I'm trying to think. I think I'm forgetting something.
Road departure mitigation.
Oh yeah, road departure mitigation.
There's 6 of them. I don't know if you mentioned them. I think that was 6.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and check. But the fact that they're all standard, and you could, those were available in the second generation RDX, but you did have to there was like a specific package.
There's an Acura Watch package, which was pretty rare, and then you had to move all the way to the Advance to make them a part of the equipment level package, which is still a pretty rare car as you get into the 18 and models.
Right.
There weren't many of those.
Yeah, and the fact that made it standard, the very few brands make that stuff standard across the board. All those safety features. A lot of brands, competitive brands, you have to get different packages just to get the safety features. So Acura puts safety really high on their list of priorities, and that was pretty neat that they did that.
Yeah.
And man, how about that roof?
What roof?
The roof?
The roof.
Roof here?
The roof.
Yeah.
Oh, the panoramic moonroof.
That's what people have been asking for that for years. So
Yeah.
the panoramic moonroof is, we used to have people ask, why did you guys have a panoramic moonroof?
Right.
But one of the reasons is safety. That is one of the main reasons they didn't do it before. They didn't feel like they had a frame that supported a big roof. And if you see it in person, we have videos on it, but it's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the first application of this for Acura. It's first time, really Acura and Honda. I think that they've put this in a vehicle, and it's massive. It's,
Right.
it's,
Yeah.
it's big.
Yeah,
And it really is. It's a nice application of it. I think the thing to point out here, though, it comes standard.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's
Yeah,
right.
that's
I
right.
mean,
yeah.
we forget that's in addition to most cars that are
Right, and going back to the that's the whole content piece with Acura. That's the biggest thing, is that even in our standard model, our entry-level model, you have those features that are must-have things in a vehicle. So that's huge.
And they didn't fall short on the audio as well. I
No.
mean,
Yeah, the audio is phenomenal.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah,
Oh my God, no.
yeah. The third generation is just amazing. A lot of our cars, they're awesome in terms of audio because a lot of them come standard with a subwoofer, so you still have some really nice sound coming out of the speakers. But even in a base model in the third generation, you get 9 speakers, including that subwoofer. If you go into the tech model like we looked at, there's 12 speakers with Acura's what they call the premium ELS surround sound studio system.
How about the advanced and the
Yeah.
A-spec?
Well, even in the tech package, you get two speakers in the ceiling.
That is true.
And if you go to the A-spec and the advanced package, you then get 4 speakers on the ceiling, but you have a total of 16 speakers,
Right.
including what they call their 3D ELS surround sound studio system. And if you do play 3D music, if it was recorded in 3D, you could play it, and it's like you're in a concert hall. It's just crazy how it sounds.
I mean, it's one audio system that will even drown Matt out when he's singing. I
And
mean,
that's hard to believe.
yeah.
That's why we kept the mics off on the road.
Right.
That's right. Yeah, we did do that. So, but yeah, phenomenal sound system, and you have all your connections, obviously the Bluetooth and stuff like that. And then going back to the whole content thing, the Apple CarPlay. I don't know if you had a chance to talk about that or the
No,
Android
that's
Auto.
another.
And the
huge
Android
feature.
Auto.
Yeah. So those things, that became pretty popular 3 to 4 years ago, the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. If you're not familiar with it, we'll probably have another video on maybe how to use that or just how that works. But it just integrates your phone into the car, allows you to use some of your favorite applications like Google Maps, Waze, or Apple Maps, whichever you use. So.
Right. That's right on that top screen for
Yeah.
Apple CarPlay
And,
and Android
and
Auto.
back to the content, they didn't make that an additional charge. Again,
No.
it's standard
Yep.
on all the RDX models, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And Acura's a little bit late coming out with the Android Auto. I know that was just released
Yeah. But they came
later
through with the
last
update,
year.
Yeah,
so
They came through and they went back and updated every model that was built from day one. So
for
it was-
free.
Right.
There are some
right.
brands that
Right.
have done that, but not for free.
Yeah, they charge for
like
it.
$500. So
Mhm.
that's
Yeah, so
that's a
Acura
real
does come
thing.
standard with that. So,
So-
then you get they went from the dual screen. Now they have the touchpad to where you can access that top screen instead of putting smudges on a screen. It's right there, right by your armrest, where you
Yeah,
can
that's a good
touch
point.
it and move around. Very easy to use.
So, and that's probably one of the areas that, I mean, you guys get a little controversy on whether, how's this work, and does it make sense? A lot of people like their tablets and their phones and the touch
Yeah.
screen,
Right.
and they're used to that. And so Acura kind of went on a limb on some new technology here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and I think they hit a home run. I think when you use it, on first application, if you're using it like a laptop, it's not the same thing. But once you have a chance to really use it, it really does create a safer environment because you're in a position where you're using your hand where your back's against the seat, and that screen is right in your line of sight. You're not taking your eyes off the road
Right.
at all, really. And that's really the main reason why they designed it the way they did. And so, while the old one, obviously, the second generation, I keep saying the old one, but the second generation, yeah, it's.
Right.
It still works very well, and you still get some nice features with it. But the new one, it's a complete 180. It's not even the same idea at all.
So they almost look like two totally different cars,
Yeah.
as you can tell in some of the videos.
Almost should have called it something different. Just
Yeah.
for.
Well, that touchpad is kind of revolutionary. Obviously, the first manufacturer to come out with a pad like that versus I know the Lexus has a mouse that they use, and they've had some controversy or whether that makes sense or not. It's a similar concept in the fact that they just simplified that version of not having to reach up, having that screen closer to the road, so you keep your eyes on the road as a driver, just making that safer for everybody. I've been driving one for probably 6 to 8 months,
Yeah.
and it is a learning curve. It's something new we're not used to, but just like any of that tech, you pick it up pretty quick, and it becomes second nature. And as I get into the other cars, I have to rethink, how do I change the radio and do these things because I'm used to that touchpad now.
And that's why we're here, right? That's part of our purpose is make sure that there's so much stuff on cars nowadays in general that you don't want to go without just trying to learn it yourself. It does have us help you out with those questions. If you do have one or are planning on getting one, we can walk you through that stuff and really make that ownership experience just that much better. Yeah, it really helps out.
So hopefully you liked the side-by-side comparison of the second generation RDX with the new one. Hopefully this helps you out in your car research or just finding out, learning more about both of the cars, whatever you find useful there. If you'd like to see more of this, hit the subscribe button. If you want us to tackle specific models or differences, send us a comment so we know what you're interested in.
Yeah,
what
we have a whole list of
so,
things, but obviously we can deviate from that if people are asking for it. I think we're having a lot of fun doing this, and we want to make sure that the content you guys are getting is stuff you want to see, and we hope to really help anyone who's looking for an Acura, but people who also own an Acura.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to give us a call, too. I mean, you can always do that.
The number's actually right down there,
Straight down there?
somewhere at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
somewhere.
I put it down there.
Is it under your desk, Matt? That's not going to help any of our viewers.
So,
thanks again for joining us for another video. Again, just 3 Acura guys that have been doing this for a long time with the Acura brand, wanting to bring you just some great information. And we'll see you again next time.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Matt, what are you doing under there?
I'm just showing what the all-wheel drive looks like.
But Matt, really? Is that necessary?
Yeah, it's the super handling all-wheel drive.
Jeez.
So cool.
Ooh, the memory card. Come on in, Kevy.